everybody? Happy Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, whatever day you're listening to this. We have a fun topic today. We're going to talk about remote work, working from home, working in the office, hybrid approach. COVID really messed things up. We finally have some data and analytics to provide some insights for our audience. Mitchell, what do you think about this? What's up with working from home, dude? Give us, let's just put closure to this. I feel like everyone talks about it.
It is a reality check if you've never done it, first and foremost. So like sending one out to all my homies out there, remote work for the first time. COVID got you, at your house, on your unreliable Wi-Fi, trying to get shit done for the first time. And you are stressed. Like, first of all, we're going to talk about some tips. We're going to talk about some challenges. I want to just be absolutely honest and empathetic to all the people who like this was a struggle. Like it's a skill, learning how to self-manage and work from home, especially if like you don't have a nice office set up at home. You don't have a room where you can go and like have privacy, especially if you and a spouse or you and several roommates are all kind of forced into working from home. Like there are serious challenges, but there is some, it's not all rain clouds and thunderstorms. Like there is some optimism here that's coming. I want to talk about some tips, things that have worked for me, how to combat this. So where to start, man, there's some good things. All right. First and foremost, I think that you need to be very cognizant of the boundaries that you set. I think that, working from home there's a temptation to already bring work home with you, whether you're working in an office or not. There's a temptation to just always be online, or especially if you work in any kind of job that could go remote, probably means you're working in some type of digital job, which means you probably already suffered from the temptation of taking work home with you, always being online, always having your email. Like, first of all, you got to set some boundaries. If you're under 25, like, I don't want to hear about burnout. Like, work hard. Yes, there are actual serious risk cases, and like, don't overwork yourself, but like, you should be grinding it out your first few years to build a momentum. That's a different episode. Go listen to a couple episodes back. We talked about this specific thing. But if you're doing what you should be, you're on top of your stuff, you're self-managing, you're like, delivering the results. You've got to figure out how to set some boundaries. This can mean like setting your working hours on your calendar so people can't schedule meetings outside of certain hours. It could mean like setting up your autoresponder on weekends, or if you're taking a Friday off, or when you're out. It should mean coming up with a good game plan for when you are going to be out of office so that your team knows, hey, I'm on vacation. I'm not going to be answering my phone. Same thing when you're working from home is like, if you're like, don't leave your work stuff out in the family room or in the room where everything else happens. If you can avoid it, like maybe pack up your desk and put it to the side, but like, don't create that temptation for yourself where it's like, hey, I'm just going to check my email real quick. But it's like 8 p.m. on a Monday night. Like now you've created a problem for Tuesday because you're not going to sleep well. You're going to be thinking about that email that Karen sent for the rest of the night. You're going to be like reeling. Somebody replied to you passive aggressive on Monday night. You're going to be like furious the rest of the night. Like, don't do that. There is work. There's time to work tomorrow. So that's one. Like, be cognizant of the boundaries. Two, like anything else, you need to figure out sort of your optimum working schedule and sort of the things this is the table stakes stuff. This is like getting enough sleep, still, cooking meals, like having good nutritional habits and like not just eating over your computer, like fast food and stuff where now you're going to feel like trash because you're putting trash into your body. Like working from home, you have the flexibility to go cook dinner, hopefully. Do those things to yourself. Go get some exercise. Don't sit in front of your computer without moving for 8 hours per day. Go out on a walk every now and then. Get yourself some blue blocker glasses. I would show you my desk. Like I got a standing desk. I designed my space to like exactly how I wanted it in my house. If you could do that, those little things help. I also think that there are little things like you can Pavlov yourself. This is one of my favorite things that has worked for me. Like, for me, I have like 4 or 5 playlists that when I play, I know I'm sitting down and I'm getting stuff done. And like, I'm like, it's like Pavlov ringing the bell that to his little dog that it's time to eat. Figure out little hacks for yourself like that in a digital world. maybe you can't listen to music. Maybe it's, a certain place you sit. Maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's a certain time of day or whatever. You have a power hour every Monday evening. That's when you crank out your emails, whatever it is. Like find something that like gets you in the zone, and like be as productive as possible when you're in that zone, and take a little bit of the burden off from being like in your home working as well. Every now and then break it up, go to a coffee shop, go be around other people every now and then, not just while you're working. Like try and have some type of social interaction. We're social creatures. Don't just like be the recluse. It will start to eat away at you. It can get lonely if you're never being around people. One other thing that I'll off the cuff here, one other tip, find a way to reward yourself. So sometimes when I'm working remote, you're not having that FaceTime with people. Sometimes, it's like, man, I'm exhausted staring at this computer screen. And I have this project. It's going to take the best out of me. I'm not ready to do it. I really want to think about this thing, but it's not as important. Like sometimes reward yourself. Go do the little thing that you want to go solve now. Go spend 15 minutes on that. Give yourself the freedom to go do that, so you're more energized to go do the big thing. Or do little nice things for yourself too. Like sometimes I'm like, you know what? If I get this project done a day early, I'm going to go buy myself a nice steak and I'm going to cook it tonight, and I'm going to have an awesome dinner. And like create little things that you can look forward to for yourself to make it a little bit easier to adapt to that. I personally, I've been working remote for quite a while now, for several years. I love it now. I don't know if I'd ever go back to an office. I like that human interaction still. I'm extroverted by nature, but it's also like recognize all the benefits. You have more freedom and flexibility. If you are somebody who can deliver results in 4 hours and you don't have to be present because you got calls coming in or customers that, you're responding to during certain hours. Like if you can get everything done in 4 hours, you just got a golden ticket. Go do it in 4 hours. Once you go remote, like unless you're in a really highly bureaucratic environment, people tend not to care as much. Like, can you do the job? I don't know I can't see you. I don't know if it took you 2 hours or 8 hours. Like you could go do it in 2 hours, go do it. And that doesn't mean like, don't, phone it in and don't take your, responsibility for your work, but recognize the advantages. Don't overlook, like I got forced into this, it's going to be terrible. Try and focus on the positives. I think for the most part, most people, especially those with families and long commutes, like they probably do, or open offices, which are like the worst idea ever. Like you can't get any work done in open office space. So like, I think like people that have kind of negative situations are like, I would never go back to an office if I can help it. But I know for some people, again, send it out to the homies. I think that some people was an adjustment and it wasn't great. Use some of these tips, make your life better. What you got?
Yo, for sure, bro. 1 sec. So I guess you definitely need something to trigger you, right? Like I know for me, as crazy as that sounds, I got this little aromatherapy thing. Like I smell the ocean breeze and I'm ready to freaking work. That's a good one. Yo, you gotta try that out. I didn't know how crazy like scent has like with that kind of stuff.
Are you about to do like an influencer, like link in my bio? I get 50% commission here. Yeah.
Dead ass. Use the code Crazy Lou. Yeah, but seriously, that thing is that thing is crazy. So if you're gonna do anything, I agree. Music or something. For music, dude, I feel like going out and partying. So I needed something else. Like I was like, yo, let me smell something or whatever. I wanna dive into I want to get your take on this, right? What's the future of work? Is this just like, I know clearly a lot of companies have already adopted this, right? Like Salesforce, Amazon, they're like, dude, you want to work from home, work from home. You want to come in off, like whatever. We're not requiring anything.
Yeah.
Is that the future of like legit work? Is it a FPS or like?
I don't know this. I don't know that it's obvious. I see. I'm just going to go right into it. Here's what I see. There are empty office buildings all over the country. The people who own those office buildings, they're going to have to find some productive use for it. Maybe turn them into apartment buildings. But I think that's one like major economic thing that needs to be figured out. Like when you think about like who holds the money in this world, like insurance companies, banks, exactly, like a lot of wealth is concentrated in these really high value properties that used to be filled with people who are working there every day. And now a lot of them are empty. That's something to be figured out. I think that some offices, that's kind of a perverse incentive to try and figure out how to get people back in offices. Put that one to the shelf for a second. I think that a lot of companies, though, were like, hey, leasing an office is really damn expensive. What if we could pay our employees more? Or what if we could just like not have that overhead? What if we could have more profits? What if we could reduce our prices for customers? There are a lot of positive ramifications for this as well. It gives companies more leverage in their operating budget if they can cut out that massive overhead of like rent. And, you know, you got to have insurance on a building. You got, you know, the utilities on a building, which is like super expensive. You got all these people, you got Wi-Fi, super fast Wi-Fi, all these things. What if I could go buy every single one of my employees, you know, in a home office setup, pay for their Wi-Fi, and give them better work-life balance? Like this could, I think that there's going to become a shift in this becoming part of the employee perk package, where companies are competing in who offers the most flexible setup. Those are some pros, cons. Here's one of the biggest things. This opens the door for the most competitive work environment ever. Like the terms of employment are going to change. I think this is going to open up the opportunity for smaller companies to compete more too, but also make it even more competitive, because once people are no longer limited to talent in their own backyard or who can come into their office, I think you're going to start to see, I expect that we'll start to see more and more of a shift toward a global marketplace for talent. So long as bureaucrats and politicians don't try to like mess that up, where it's like, I don't care where you are. I don't care what time you do the job. It really doesn't matter what country you live in. It really doesn't matter what language you speak, as long as, you know, you can do work. Your work output can be done in whatever language we need it done in. I think this is a tremendously positive thing for people who are in disadvantaged economies. And I think that people who are in America and Europe and like higher standard of living countries better wake the hell up and get ready, because it is more important than ever to have something to differentiate yourself and a track record of being able to deliver the goods. Because if it's not just, you know, it's not just you versus the other guy down the street that I'm hiring, but it's you versus the other guy down the street versus everybody else in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh who wants this job more, who's having a literal life-changing event as a result of getting this income. You better saddle up, Sally. Get ready to ride. You better be doubling down on your skill set.
Bro, real talk, bro. Like, it's even, you thought the job market was competitive. You're freaking, it's done, bro. Like, this game over, bro.
Yeah.
You're competing with the world now. So that's kind of crazy to think. I don't want to get too off topic, but this metaverse crap that came out, I think it has implications on, what if we just pop in the VR and we just work from like some virtual, like, can you see that happening?
Sometimes when I'm typing emails or I'm building workflows is a good example of this, where I'm trying to automate things, or there's a series of repetitive tasks that I'm trying to figure out, how do I not have to do the same thing over and over again? And I'm like, man, how cool would it be if I could just like lay back and just like build these modules in my mind, rather than like physically having to click through and type and like all these kind of things. I think that there are really cool, you know, it's like Elon Musk had the Neuralink thing that's, you know, never really taken off yet, but like
crazy crap. Yeah.
That's a different episode that's got like so many different pros and cons and like concerns and definitely potential positives too, but also like anytime we start talking about these things, there's massive opportunity for abuse of power, which is like in the world we live in right now. Like, I'm probably not popping on a VR headset or, you know, plugging my brain into the internet. Just like real talk, that's concerning in the state of uncertainty we're in. Absolutely. Although I promise you, I'll be like, man, but think about how productive I could be if I didn't have to, if I wasn't limited by how fast my fingers could type or whatever. Absolutely. So lots of things going on here.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a completely different episode, I guess. Wrapping things up, some concluding thoughts. So this is my takeaway from the work from home, work remote. If you're going to work remote, freaking set some boundaries. You could literally sit there at a desk all day, because that's just, if you have no freaking boundaries. Get an office space, get the Pavlov triggers that Mitchell was talking about, whether it's a song, whether it's a scent, whatever it may be, that's going to help you out. Number two, if you do end up working from home and you end up wanting to switch companies, just realize how competitive the market is. That's what I got at. Like now it's literally the world. Like anybody can just pop open their laptop and work. Mitchell, you have any closing thoughts?
Double down on the things that you're good at and like find ways to skill stack. You gotta find your niche. There's niches, there's riches and niches, but like,
yep, absolutely.
If you're really good at you're a really good software engineer. Well, what's a niche? Like maybe you build apps specifically for small businesses who can't afford to pay Fortune 100 software developers, or they can't afford SaaS products. Like find something that you can specialize in, because that's what gives you leverage in a more competitive marketplace. So if you're working from home, check out some of these tips. Hopefully it gets better for you if it's been a bad experience. But for the rest of you though, hopefully it's been an awesome, positive impact and you never want to go back because of the freedom and flexibility that it's giving you in your day-to-day life. So as always, thanks for checking out another episode.
Yep.
We'll be back again soon.